What's up, beautiful people? I have a message. All right, since I've been going on and trying to explain to everybody how, American Muslims are different than the other radical Muslims, and, just doing my whole thing with that. Now I have a message for radical Islamists that just refuse to assimilate because they're, thinking of conquest or spreading Islam throughout the West, right? And the world, really. I have a message for you. That will never happen. All right. You might be able to get every other nation in the world, right? Maybe, possibly, who knows? But I can tell you for sure, 100% fact, radical Islam, Sharia, whatever you want to call it, will never have a foothold in America as long as people like myself and others who are more patriotic, that love the Constitution, exist. Why? Because we have the right to keep and bear arms. Now, I'm never calling for violence against anybody, but I can promise you this. I can make this for sure 100% promise that if radical Islam ever was to spread and try to conquer or take over America, you would see in a heartbeat more brown, yellow, red, white, black people come together quicker than you have ever seen in your life and use their Second Amendment right on you. Not a threat, just an observation. We will never allow for our women to be beaten, number one, by anybody, a religious leader, because of what he feels she has done wrong. We will never allow people to be silenced to the point where they don't have the freedom to say what they want or believe what they want or practice what they want in America. We will never allow our women to be forced to cover their faces in public. It's just never going to be a thing. Now, no disrespect to anybody who agrees with, like the women that do wear the hijab or whatever. No disrespect to you. To American Muslims who have assimilated to, American culture or just American way of life, right? This is not to you. I love you. You're my brother. You're my sister. This is not a shot towards any Muslims. I love you guys. American Muslims. I love everybody, right? But to anybody, and this doesn't even just have to be radical Islam, to anybody that is trying to threaten our way of life by saying that they're going to force. The reason why am I even talking about this? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you this clip. All right. This guy, I've seen this clip. Now I've watched a couple videos from him since before I did this live, right? But this is the video. This is what he had to say.
The future is ours. Every ideal nightmare of a Muslim Europe will come true. They can be as mad as they want. I don't care. America will be a Muslim country. Russia will be a Muslim country. Islam will enter every house. We have to be a part of that change. We have to be a part of that da'wah. We have to be a part of those ghuraba who stand firm on our aqidah and our practice and our deen and never ever apologize. We're unapologetic. Never ever compromise. We're uncompromising. The future is ours. Every ideal nightmare of a Muslim.
You're out of your mind. You, sir, are out of your mind if you believe that. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm a believer, but I'm also a patriot. Don't get that misunderstood. The reason why I'm a patriot is because I would do anything to protect my rights and freedoms in my country because I love my country. I am willing to die behind keeping my rights intact. Hell, I went to prison. Well, than that, and I'm just gonna leave. We ain't gonna go too deep into that. But there's a lot of other people, like the comments said, there's way too many huckleberries. Who said that? Who said that? Yeah, you got way too many huckleberries over here in America for that. All right. So get that understood. Now there's another clip, and I want to share this because I gotta give some pushback to this guy. All right. This is funny. This is pretty funny. So now I'm giving some pushback to this dude. I can't pronounce his name. So we just gonna call him, I don't even know what to call him. And I'm not gonna try to learn the name because it looks really long. So
Nikki Fuentes, keep Islam out your mouth.
This is America. I can't stand Nick Fuentes' rhetoric. But this is America. You don't get to tell nobody that. Shut up.
Look, you're good at talking about Zionist theories, exposing all that kind of stuff. Stay there. That's your lane. Stay in your lane. But don't ever act like you don't.
Telling somebody to stay in their lane. You were just the guy talking about spreading Islam far and wide, right? That it's going to be in every household. It's going to be everywhere. And you're telling somebody to stay in their lane. How about you stay in your lane? Stay in your lane. America is great. Don't Sharia my America. All right? You keep that somewhere else. We like freedom over here. Okay? You're more than welcome to practice your religion. But when you're trying to change the government, oh, man, bro. No.
About Christianity and Islam or religion, keep Islam out your mouth. Otherwise, we're going to put you in your place.
And how are you going to do that, buddy? How are you going to put anybody in their place? Please tell me. Because I know you ain't talking about hand to hand. Because even though you might have the largest religion in the world, right? Islam has more members than anybody else, which I would argue that that's not true. And the reason being is because not everybody that is a Muslim identifies with your version of Islam. So I would argue that your version of Islam it's not as many as how many Christians there are in the world. Just want to make that, because there's not a lot of radical Islamists overall. I mean, most of them don't even like your Islam, your way of Islam, right? So we'll go with that.
You know that I challenged you before. Sneeko set it up and you chickened out. Then
That sounded kind of American right there. You challenging somebody to debate. That sounds pretty American. You should keep going that route.
Wanted time to prepare, and we gave you that time, and you still chickened out. Then you wanted to bring somebody on with you to back you up, and you still chickened out. And that challenge still stands. You're not the new Charlie Kirk. Look, do what you're doing. Keep Islam out your mouth.
I agree that Nick is not the new Charlie Kirk. And yeah, I mean, all the stuff you said about Nick, I don't care because it's Nick, right? Except for the fact where you making threats like keep Islam out your mouth because you're going to do something. You're not going to. I'll tell you like this. This is the real truth. As much as I don't like Nick Fuentes' rhetoric, if I saw you or anybody else trying to silence him and put your hands on him by way of to silence him, right? I jump in for Nick. I jump in for Nick and I calm y'all down. I guarantee you wouldn't shut me up. That's a fact. Let's keep listening to what he got to say.
When you're at the park, somebody talks, hey, you believe in that Islam that be chopping off hands? Yeah, I do. I think it's better than what you believe in. And you're not.
See, you talking about chopping off hands. See, that's barbaric. That's barbarism. It's effective. I will give you that. It is effective. You chop somebody's hand off, they're not going to steal no more. And I kind of don't disagree, right? Like, I mean, I guess that if I was running the show, if somebody stole something from somebody, like some money or something, and they weren't like destitute or anything like that, then, I mean, yeah, But that's why I'm not in charge, because, yeah, I would probably be all right with that. But not for what you talking about, man. Not according to religion. I don't know. I feel you on that point about chopping hands off and people won't steal no more. That's true. I've had those thoughts. A lot of people feel that way. But again, just not, we don't want Sharia law. That's all. Like, we don't want to see women buried up to their head in sand and stone. That's radical Islam. We don't want that. You're not welcome here with that. You could keep that. To American Muslims, I know that you guys agree with me. I know that you agree that this kind of stuff doesn't have any place in America. So again, not disrespecting y'all. We talking about the radical guy with the, you know, crazy thoughts in his brain, telling people to shut up and all of that.
Stealing something small, it's more than a 1/4 of a gold dinar and thing. You're just stealing because you want to cause corruption and this and that. Chop off a hand in public.
In public, that's bold.
Let me see somebody rob you again. Allah, you're going to be walking around with wads of cash and people will be like, I don't even see it.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna give him a pass. I'm gonna give him a pass on that point because I mean that's, you know, I hate thieves. So it's like, again, that's why I'm not in charge though, y'all. That's why I'm not in charge. I can't stand a thief. That's, you know, and then it's kind of like a marker too. You see somebody without a hand, they're gonna be like, yeah, he stole something. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Islam is our relationship. Kufr breaks our relationship. You could be from my enemy tribe, you could be from somebody I hate, but if you're a mu'min, if you're a Muslim, you are my brother, you are beloved to me. You could.
If you are a Muslim, he is a brother to you. See, and this is where we disagree. See, what you just said to me is un-American, right? It's un-American. And the reason I say that is because you hear me, right? I'm not a Muslim. I'm a full-blown Jesus freak, right? And I consider Muslims in America that love America to be my brothers and my sisters. I think that atheists in my country that love America are my brothers and my sisters. I think Democrats that, you know, love our country are my brothers and sisters. I think just people that love America are my brothers and sisters, regardless if they have a different belief, but they're okay with being an American. I love them. But you just said that we are not. See, this is where people have a problem because you're putting your religion above your status in America, I guess. You can have your religion. America says that you can practice your religion. But the moment that you start trying to cause some chaos because of your religion and breaking the laws of this country, that's a problem. That's a problem. You talking about chopping off hands. That's illegal. Even though I don't disagree, people probably do need their hands chopped off. I can't get behind that messaging, bro.
Be my own father. If you fight Islam, I will fight you.
See, that's a problem. Could be your own father. And if he's not a Muslim, if he's against Islam, then you will fight him. Yeah, they have no place here in America. If I ever see you put your hands on your daddy, I'm going to put my hands on you. Oh, why'd you beat up your daddy? Oh, because he wasn't Muslim. No, yeah, you better not ever. You better not ever.
This is the way a Muslim has to be.
Today you see, and I'm not trying to mention any names.
And again, you're wrong. He says this is the way a Muslim has to be. American Muslims prove you wrong, bro. I know American Muslims that have converted to Christianity and are no longer Muslim, and their family still accepts them because they're in America. They disagree with their decision, but they still love them. They still hang out with them. All of that. See, this is where you got it wrong. That's the problem. Let's keep it moving, though. I like this one right here because I'm about to make a point that's gonna piss him off if he ever sees this video.
Names, and I'm not trying to, I'm not a drama queen. I'm not trying to bring up any kind of drama here. But you see major figures in the Islamic community trying to water down Islamic concepts, right? Yeah. Like, oh, you know.
He's talking about American Muslims, everybody. He's talking about American Muslims who don't do the things that archaic Muslims do. You know, third world Muslims. They don't do these things that he's talking about, that they water down the message of Islam. Listen to what he says.
Sharia punishments were for that time. Norway. If the Sahaba went to Norway, they would love it. They would migrate. I don't know. They would just be like, who needs Sharia? You have Norway. Like what? Like you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't know about the time and place that's gonna come? Like, the Sharia is the Sharia. We believe in it. The hudud are hudud. We stand by them. We're not afraid of. We're not ashamed. We don't apologize. We don't water anything down. We don't compromise. None of that. The future.
So I got to call this out. I've got to call this out. Please, everybody, share this right now. Share this right now because of what I'm about to say. You heard what he just said. He just got on basically American Muslims. That's what I'm calling it. American Muslims. He just got on them because they say those things, those archaic things, that's for another time. We don't live in that time, and you definitely don't live in the country for it. That's never going to be how it is in this country. But you say no. You say no, that it's forever. This is what it's supposed to be, that Allah knew what he was doing. And, well, if that's the case, do you believe that 6-year-olds should be married off to men? Do you think that if today, let's say, and no disrespect to the Muslims that are watching, I don't mean disrespect, I mean to make a point. If Muhammad was alive today and you saw him marrying 6-year-old Aisha, you would say that that's okay? I don't think you would. American Muslims, let me ask you, would you marry off your 6-year-old daughter to a 50, 60-year-old man? Answer me that. I bet you every single American Muslim would say no. And when I say American Muslim, I mean a Muslim that is straight up American, man, that loves this country. I guarantee you they'll say no. 100% no. So then it can't be right. It can't be right that everything in there is right because they have some strange practices. We don't accept that stuff in here in America. It will never be. It will never be. And this guy wants people just to, and by the way, I used to be Muslim. One of the reasons why, one of the core reasons why it solidified. It wasn't the core reason. It solidified my not wanting anything to do with Islam was when I read the Sealed Nectar and I found out that Muhammad married a child and consummated the marriage when she was 9, married her when she was 6, consummated it when she was 9. Nah, I'm sorry. In prison, we didn't even mess with those types of people that did that deed. So why would I follow a religion founded by somebody who did that deed and excuse it and say, well, it was just a different time back then? Really? Nah. I'm sorry. No. No. I'm sorry.
Future of Islam in the West.
Alhamdulillah, the future is ours. Islam's going to spread. There's no doubt to it. The West is West, East, North, South, all going to be Muslim.
Yeah.
Right?
Nah. The only way that it would happen is if, I mean, let's just be real. Let's be real, guys. The only reason why Islam spread as much as it did in the Middle East is because of conquest. You made them convert. It's the truth. Forced conversion. Okay? Just keep it a buck. People didn't just choose it. And I guarantee you, if anyone that lived underneath Sharia law, right? If a person that was not a Muslim went there and seen, I guarantee you the only way that they would convert would be by force. It's just true. Even when I was in prison, they tried, I call it Prislam. See, Islam in prison is radical. It is radical, but they just don't go by it. Like, they still sell drugs. They got some ways. Some of the guys use drugs. They're not supposed to, but they do. And they gave people 80 lashes with a wet towel. They wet a towel, hold the guy like this, and they just beating the brakes off of this dude. That'll never be a thing in America, bro. Somebody going, it's never going to happen. Nor should it. Again, no disrespect to my brothers and sisters that are Muslim. And I know that you don't believe in practice the way that this guy wants you to believe in practice. Okay? This is not against you. I love you. You're my brothers and sisters as Americans. You're my countrymen. And I'm not against any American Muslim that wants to spread Islam, right? It would be like me being against somebody spreading the gospel. Go ahead and do your thing. But the moment that it becomes like this guy and you're talking about being un-American and doing, that's when we have a problem. And no American is for that. No real, and this, I got to say this, man. I got to say this. Thank God for my brothers that are quick to draw that sword. Thank God for the rednecks that are like, no, not in my America. Thank God for those kind of people, because if it ever did happen and there ever was a thing where people was like, yo, we're going to spread Islam by conquest, you're going to lose. For sure. You're going to lose. Them country dudes and the brothers in the hood and all that, you will see people come together quicker than you have ever saw in your life. And I love when people try to show me Europe. And they say, well, look at Europe. Look at Europe. I don't need to look at Europe. Europe don't let their citizens carry bangers, man. I don't need to look at Europe. Well, you guys can have a knife or a machete or something. That's all good and well. You run up on somebody with a machete and they got a 4.5. It's going to be a hole in that machete and you. We're not worried about all of that. I hope that it never comes to that. And I don't think that it will. I think that people like him are only popular, in certain spaces. I think people like him are only, social media guys and maybe popular in amongst their community of Islam. But I want to look up the numbers. Let's look up the numbers, guys. What's the population? Population of Muslims versus Christians in America. Let's see. In the U.S., Christians are the largest group, while Muslims are the third largest. We ain't worried, bro. All y'all better stop tripping. Stop tripping. Listen, recent estimates from Pew Research Center, 2023 to 24, it suggests that around 162 million Christians and roughly 4.5 Muslims in America, though the exact number may vary by source methodology. This means Christians outnumber Muslims 36-1. 36-1. Y'all want me to trip about these dudes? I'm not worried about these dudes. And you say, but Cash, they're breeding like crazy. No, they breed like crazy in other countries. They not breeding like crazy over here. I got to say this, and I know you guys you're not too proud of this, but it is what it is. I changed my life later, but I got 4 baby mamas. I got 10 kids, and all my kids love America. They're little patriots in the making. They are little patriots in the making. They love the Constitution. They love the rights and freedoms that they have, capitalism. They love the fact that they can make something out of nothing but a dream here in America if they work hard. And they love God. And there's a lot of other people like Cash out there that's having a lot of kids. Christian kids or Bible-believing kids. Or I can tell you what they're not having. They're not having a bunch of radical Islamist kids. It's not happening over here because they can't have multiple wives. Okay? That's how we keep that in check. They still can't. That's not a thing. They can't do that in America. All right? So don't trip, you guys. Don't worry about it. We outnumber the Islam by 36-1. 36-1. For every one Muslim, there's 36 Christians or people that believe in Christ. And of how many Muslims they say? 4.5 million Muslims in America. I guarantee you a majority of the Muslims in America do not have a radical Islam ideology. They are patriots. They fight for this country. They go to football games. They, eat pizza. They watch wrestling. All of that. They just probably don't got pork on the pizza. That's all. Don't trip. Yeah, we got a couple knuckleheads. We got a couple knuckleheads that want to spread this radical ideology. But they're small. They're very small when you look at the numbers. We ain't tripping. So you know what you got to do right now if you want to make a difference so Islam doesn't overrun America, because that's the fear of a lot of people right now. You know what you do? Raise your children right. That's all you got to do. Just raise your babies right. Teach them to love the Lord. Teach them to love their country and just to be a good human being. And then teach them about Islam and tell them, this is the main thing. And again, no disrespect to my Muslim brothers and sisters, but this is what I teach my kids and why my kids will never become Muslim ever. Because we don't like kitty diddlers. And I teach them, hey, I've already been down this road and you're going to find out something disgusting. You know Jeffrey Epstein? Yeah. The guy that made this book over here, he married a 6-year-old. That right there, my sons were like, what the? Oh, no, no. My sons didn't go for none of that. My daughters definitely ain't going for none of that. So don't worry about it. Again, no offense to anybody that's a Muslim. This is just my opinion. I know you have an opinion about Christianity and, you know, polytheism and all that, and I understand that. That's okay. You can have an opinion about it. But for me, yeah, that's what it is. So just raise them babies right. Raise them babies right, man. And I got to show you guys this video. All right? I got to show you this video because this video is also relevant to the conversation. This guy right here. This guy right here. Look at this.
This danger in the world is if Esav and Yishmael ever came together, if they ever united. Says the Gemara, if Edom and Yishmael ever united, they would destroy the world. You can never mix Cain and Hevel together. And that's why we wish both of these ummahs in their war against each other, bracha v'hatzlacha. My message to both of them is we wish both of them tremendous hatzlacha. They should wipe each other out. No, none of it should be said. Both sides should mamish be matzliach as much as possible. We wish both sides tremendous hatzlacha in their avodah of wiping out the other party.
So right there, we talk about radical Islam. We talk about, you know, white supremacists and all of these things, but we do got to talk about this because there are radical people in Judaism. Okay. They just don't show their faces much, but they exist. And they believe that Muslims and Christians should wipe themselves out, wipe each other out. That's a rabbi talking to people and telling them this. So then it starts to make sense. Right? It starts to make sense why there's so much of people like him. Again, he's not a representation of all people that practice Judaism. He's just one crazy that has a little following that causes chaos. You look at Soros. Look at George Soros, right? George Soros is Jewish, but not religious. I believe he's an atheist. Even though George Soros is Jewish ethnically, he is an atheist. Okay? There's a difference. Whereas you have some other rabbis that are religious, that love America, love American culture, don't care what religion you want to practice. There's different sects of everything. So everybody doesn't fit into a hole. Not all Muslims believe in the radical ideology. Not all Jewish people believe in the Soros ideology. Not all Christians believe in the Klan ideology. We got to get out that vacuum and always be on guard because I don't want to make light of the situation, right? Don't want to make light of the situation. There is threats, and we see that. You know, I always throw the white supremacy thing. I'm like, oh, we don't think that there's a white supremacy problem in America because of my day-to-day. Everything that I do on a day-to-day, I don't see it. But at the same time, Russo made something very known to me today. When I had a conversation with him, he said, yeah, but you look at the Groypers, the people that follow Nick Fuentes. And I said, well, yeah, what about it? He say, well, look at how they are. They're online and they believe the rhetoric that he puts forth. And I made a point to him. I said, yeah, but Nick Fuentes now is getting pushback from his side because they're saying that he loves Jews and they're saying that he's fake and that he's calling for blacks and whites to come together and he's switching up his ideology. He said, but that should let you know even more that it is real and that it's dangerous because these people are speaking up against him for not being racist. And I thought about that. I said, yeah, because when I was sitting and I was listening to that dude, to what was it? The War Boys podcast. And the dude, Gypsy Crusader, was on there and a couple other people, right? And one of the people, I forget which one which one it was that said that they don't like Trump because he's not racist enough. So the ideologies are there. Yeah, we can go and find a clip of Muslims that are screaming death to America in America. We can find that. It does exist. The threat is there, but it's not widespread. That's my point. It's a bunch of people saying some stuff. They cannot act on it because if they could, they would. But they can't because there's too many people that are sane still. You know, I love that I'm a millennial because the millennials, I'm gonna tell you guys something, boy. We are a strong generation. You know, we were brought up by the Gen X, you know, but still in it with the Gen Z. Like we got a relationship with Gen Z and Gen X, so we're kind of like in the middle, and we can understand both sides of thinking, but we're really unmoved. I'm seeing that we're really unmoved by any of this stuff. Like we could call out the old school problems and the new school problems because we're the real, you know, we're the adults, man. Millennials, we got it. There's this guy that I follow. I really love his content. His name is the Older Millennial, and this brother's dope. And I just found this other brother who's real dope. His name is Hotep Jesus. I really like this dude. He's dope. And both of them, I believe, are millennial. I know the older millennial, obviously, he's an older millennial, but the Hotep Jesus dude, he's dope. Sounds a lot like my way of thinking. But once you start to see all of this stuff is a psyop to get us against each other. And when I say us, I'm talking about us regular Americans that just love America. We love God. We love our freedoms. And that's it. Like, we not tripping, or we go ahead, believe what you want. You want to dress up and you know, say that you're a boy or a girl or whatever, then do your thing. Just don't push that on my kids, and we ain't got a problem. I don't like to see it, so I don't look. I don't care. I don't want to see it. I don't care if you want to practice Islam. That's your thing. Don't try to force nothing on me, because the moment you do that, I'm going to smack you. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be, I don't want to. I'm trying to just live my life and do my thing, but I'm unbothered. Oh, Gen Z got something to say? Okay, that's cool. I hear you out. It sounds stupid. All right. Have a good day. Oh, the boomers are mad about something over this way, and their way of thinking is old school. Oh, we hear you out and we respect you, but you know, we disagree, and y'all go ahead, do your thing. Millennials, we pretty much we got it. You know what I'm saying? We pretty much got it. This is Mac Tina says Gen X is the freaking best. Gen X is dope, but the way of thinking has got to, as far as politics goes, the Gen X way of thinking has got to. It's got to change. It's got to evolve a little bit, you know? It's got to evolve a little bit. And lastly, I got one last thing I want to talk about. Well, two things. Two things I want to talk about. Israel. A lot of people hate Israel. Like, just so many people hate Israel. Oh, God, it's crazy. And they blame AIPAC and all these things, but it's like, AIPAC they're Americans. I don't know if people know that, but they're Americans. Like, they're just lobbying. They care about Israel, so they like try to influence stuff. And I feel that's wrong. Like, I think that the lobbyists should be not a thing. You shouldn't be able to take money from anybody if you're in public office to sway you one way or the other. That's just me. That's my thought. But people hate Israel and think that we should not help Israel with anything anymore. And I guess Benjamin Netanyahu done came out and said that he don't really need American support, and he's trying to be done with this thing. Okay. I'm with that. But at the same time, you guys, if we're worried about Islam spread over here into America, right? And how they hate Americans and it's death to America. Don't you guys think that maybe we should keep Israel as an ally? Like, let's just help Israel, right? Why? Well, Israel's the West. Their thinking aligns more with our thinking. They're in the Middle East, but they have Western ways, right? And yeah, we could kind of keep everybody in check over there as long as we got Israel that we could go to. It's either we stay cool with Israel or we take over Israel. It's one or the other. But we got to have Israel. Okay? I'm keeping it real. These nations is getting a little bold, man. And they got some stuff now, you know? It's not like before we didn't really care because they didn't have no nuclear bombs or they couldn't do anything to us or anything like that. But now they could. I think it's smarter to, you know, keep Israel. Let's keep Israel. Like, either as an ally or we make it like the 51st state. You know, something like that, like a United States of the Middle East, maybe something like that. Because I think we'd be in bad shape if we parted. I really do. I ain't gonna lie. Israel be like, they stopped giving us money. Who cares? Let Iran do what they want to do, you know? It's just my thought process. It's just the way I see it. I mean, I can't stand Israel's government, but I love Israeli people and their land is beautiful. You know, so why not just the government change? Let's just change out the government. Put maybe, you know, when Trump's term is over, put Trump as president of Israel or something. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. Thinking out loud. I don't know. I don't think that we should part ways with Israel, though. I'm just saying. If y'all look into it geopolitically, I think we should be buddies with Israel. Just saying. It's just my thought. Don't hate me for it. All right? That's just the way my mind is working. You're welcome, Jada. You're welcome. Yeah. I don't know, guys. And lastly, I have an announcement to make. I drove on the highway today in a semi. As you guys know, I'm in CDL school, trying to get my CDL. I got my permit, and I've been on the road for the last 4 days. And today I finally went on the highway, and I drove at 65 miles per hour in a freaking 48-foot truck, huge truck. And it was crazy, but I felt accomplished. Because yesterday I didn't. I feel accomplished at all. Today I felt accomplished. And I had a victory. And guess what? I have a job. I'll be on the road a couple days out the week, but I have a job. Shout out to Kim and Andy. I got a legit job driving a truck when I get this CDL, making some really good money. God is good. And with that, I bid you all a good day. I will be back later. I love y'all. God bless you guys, man. All of y'all. Everybody. Muslim. And then, by the way, what's up with some of you guys in my comments, man, talking about, oh my God, Cash, I can't believe they got to you. And you're like, what? I can't follow you anymore because you're a Christian and you're promoting Islam. I'm not promoting Islam. But okay. I said, hey, I'm sorry you feel that way, but God bless you. I ain't gonna get mad at you for it. That was pretty crazy though. That's pretty crazy work. You say I'm promoting Islam because I'm telling people to not show up in Dearborn smacking a Quran with bacon and lighting it on fire. That's just total disrespect to every American Muslim. And I disagree with that. But it's okay. I understand. And I love you guys. I've been following Jesus my 70 years and I'm very proud. Boomer. I know that's right, Deborah. I love you. Wasif, good job. Thank you, man. Joe Carroll, you didn't get that from me. No, I didn't. It's not from you and my regulars. I love you guys. I'm talking about, the people that I guess they weren't regulars on here. They just maybe follow me because they heard I'm a Jan 6er or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, they got out of pocket. As soon as they seen me saying anything bad, about what happened in Dearborn, because they feel that Dearborn is under complete attack, which one of my stops, believe it or not, on my route that I'm going to be taking, guess where it's at, guys? It's in Dearborn, Michigan. So guess what I'm going to do? If you guessed Cash is going to go out there and interview people in Dearborn, Michigan, oh, you were 100% correct. I'm going to go talk to my Muslim brothers and sisters in Dearborn and say, hey, do you guys want Sharia law over here? Are you trying to undermine America and do away with the Constitution and bury women up to their head in sand and stone them if they do something wrong? And I'm not going to try to make it offensive. I'm like, no offense. I just want to know for the people. And I want you to talk to the people. I'm going to go live with them and say, hey, I want you to talk to my audience real quick, bro. Do you believe in American values, or do you want to change America and make it Sharia law? I'm going to just ask them straight out and see what they say. So, yeah. Hey, Angela, I appreciate you. Yeah, man. I hope y'all have a good day, though. That's pretty much all I got. I hope that this message finds you well. To my radical Islamist people in America that believe that you are not my brother because I am not a Muslim, I'll be praying that Christ has an interaction with you, and also praying that your ideology doesn't spread in America, because I would hate to see America filled with the blood of a bunch of radicals, because that would ultimately be what ends up happening if there would ever be like a civil war in America. It wouldn't be because blacks and whites or Democrats and Republicans. It would definitely be because you guys, are talking about some radical ideas that you want to take shape in America, and then you would definitely lose, and it'd be Muslims on our side. American Muslims will be siding with us, people that just love America, and then you guys would be ultimately wiped out. Radicals, It's my thought. Hope you have a good day. Catch you guys later.